Come in and know me better, man. This is the Backpage Pass Game Week 18 review, and it's also Christmas Eve.
Happy Christmas, John.
Happy Christmas, Mark.
What did you get me?
What?
What?
Anyway, onto the football. We're just going to do a review of the matches that took place on the 22nd and the 23rd. There's no real point in doing a preview because, you know.
We'll be right back here again talking about the...
Yeah, we'll be talking about them in 2 days' time.
Yeah.
What was I going to say? Oh, yeah, my voice is a bit hoarse. I was out last night. I didn't stay out last night. I kind of got kicked out of the pub for wearing their decorations. The bouncers didn't like that. So they
what kind of decorations did you wear, John?
It was kind of like, you know, like a Christmas tree.
Yes.
But it was long. Like it was like tinsel made of Christmas tree type material.
You put maybe across a fireplace.
Yeah.
We have one of those at home.
Oh, okay.
The very one.
It had fairy lights in it, so I wore it as a scarf to try and attract the ladies.
Yes.
It didn't work, and I got kicked out.
Yeah, I'd imagine if you had a little bit more time, it would have worked.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't have a whole lot of time to give it because I was ejected, as I said.
Time. When it comes to tinsel lights.
By a baldlet. Anyway.
Did you have any balls? Baubles, I mean.
No. Or no baubles, no bell ends, no nothing.
Sounds like a very dry...
No snow. Yeah, I just ruined everybody's Christmas.
I'm not dreaming of a white Christmas anymore.
Racist. Wait, no, that's not racist.
Is it racist? I'm white.
No, you said you're not dreaming of a white Christmas, so...
Oh, yeah.
You're the anti Luis Suarez.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, Saturday.
What about forgive and forget, John?
No, never.
He served his time. He did the crime and he served his time.
That's from a United fan. Jesus.
I hate him.
Saturday the 22nd, and Wigan versus Arsenal, and McCarthy was expected to start in the back three, but no, he didn't, and then nobody seemed to know where they were playing. But then they did.
And then the game ended.
First few minutes, they were all going, "You're over there, you're over there." No, wait, no.
The Wigan team, you mean?
Yeah.
Well, I'd imagine they've been playing three at the back for quite a while now, so surely.
Yeah, but they went four at the back.
I know, but what I'm trying to say is, when you train a certain way, you know, they've been playing three at the back for a while. You probably do drills over and over again. So if you switch things around, it probably causes a bit of confusion initially. But I thought they still played quite well. It wasn't a great match though.
Do you not think so?
No, I thought it was. I don't know, something about it didn't grab me. I was expecting more from two teams that play
that
better.
Kind of football.
Yeah, but I don't know if the pitch wasn't great, Nick. When I was watching it, I thought it was cutting up a bit, but maybe that affected, maybe it didn't. But it's a pity to see a game like that be settled over a dodgy penalty decision.
I thought it was perfectly. Well, we're going to get on to Walcott. I was a bit disappointed Luke is supposed to be here, but he's not here. I was looking forward to having another argument with him.
Get him on the phone.
Walcott, he was feeding off scraps, and but he won the penalty. I thought, who gave it? Was Figueroa or...
I think it's Figueroa?
Maybe Boyce. Anyway, whoever it was, just kind of threw an arm up under his shoulder when he was between steps, and that will just knock you off balance.
Yeah.
I know he went down, but, you know, he was pushed.
Yeah, it's just that thing that, how do you know? Like, what if he was standing still and he did that, would have knocked it up?
No, it wouldn't.
Would that have been a penalty then? So it's the fact that Walcott was kind of
moving,
running.
yeah.
So that's, the same push is only a foul in one instance.
Yeah.
See, that stuff confuses me.
Because it is, because it wouldn't have knocked him off balance. But in this case, wait. No, because he was standing still, so you're not going to score a goal standing still. Whereas
yes, you are. You could easily nod one in. Back stick, standing still.
I think you'd kind of have to take it's a rich tapestry. The penalty decisions are, and there's a sliding scale, and a slippery slope, and other stuff.
Well, I'll put it this way: you've seen plenty of those not given.
Yeah, but I'd rather see them given because
you like to see penalties. You like to see penalties in matches.
Yeah. It's a foul in the box, it's a penalty.
Yeah.
I'd rather see goals than not goals.
And it's also nice to see Arteta score his last few. Having missed a big one earlier on in the season.
Yeah. He's only missed one and he's got the...
But it was a big one to miss. It was full of it, so he's obviously got his confidence back.
Was it 3 goals out of 4 are from Penos from Arteta this season?
Yeah, I think so.
But Wigan were lucky not to get a penalty. The handballs, there was handballs all over the shop. At least one of them was a penalty.
Yeah. Yeah, I suppose so. I suppose you're right. I suppose maybe it works out even in the end. Or maybe it doesn't. If you thought the one that was given was a penalty, maybe they're due more penalties.
Yeah.
I don't even know.
Somebody needs to keep track of Wigan's penalties.
Do you ever wonder when you see a midfield player like Arteta taking a penalty, do they not have a striker who could take a penalty?
Well, Walcott was playing up front, and
But
people
he
have been
can take a penalty,
suggesting.
can
Yeah, sure he can. I know Podolski can.
Yeah.
I know Giroud is very good at them.
Yeah,
But just Arteta must be the best at them.
maybe he is.
He
I
takes
just
the
think when
free
you
kicks
pay
as well. So
when you pay somebody to score goals, you'd expect them to score penalties. But he's just going back, not Arsenal. Like Dennis Irwin used to take one from United.
Torres never took one for years.
Yeah, Ian Hart used to take them, I think, for Ireland as well. So
He missed one in the World Cup.
yeah, no, we were talking about this last time.
Oh.
Let's not get into that. He was back in the Reading. We'll get to that.
We'll get to it's the next match actually. So let's get to it now. Man City versus Reading. And Nicky Shorey really made a hames of fouling Gareth. He's trying to foul Gareth Barry.
Yeah,
Had an awful job at it.
yeah,
And he had come on for Hart, who had gotten cramp.
yeah. But you'd expect Hart to get cramp because out of the team so long. I was really looking forward to him playing the comeback of Ian Hart because he was in the team most of last season in the championship.
Yep.
I was following him.
And then they just snapped up Nicky Shorey at the start of the season.
But why? Like, is Nicky Shorey that much better than Ian Hart?
I don't think so.
Ian Hart's got a delivery, if nothing else.
Well, Shorey does that too when he's a bit more mobile.
Yeah, Ian Hart's delivery, I'd say, is a bit better, isn't it?
A bit.
He played in Spain.
True.
Barely.
For a few months.
But no, obviously it was hard on Reading. Glad to see Ian Hart back, but I thought that was a foul for the goal.
I didn't think it was.
I kind of thought it was.
What, Gareth Barry?
Yeah.
No, I think Shorey was just kind of standing there.
Yeah.
Where if he's...
Well, he stood in his spot, and does Barry have the right to lean on him?
Yeah, well,
go for
as
a
long
run
as he
and
doesn't
jump
use
and
his hands, it's all good.
But what was he using?
He wasn't pushing down on him. Well, he wasn't leaning on him. He was trying to go through him, and he was just in the way.
Can you go through somebody in football?
Yeah.
No, you can't, you see. I don't think you can.
Well,
No, I know it's a touch and go. Like, I mean, it's probably just my red blood that everyone has.
Mark Manchester United.
Coming out and saying, also Reading were screwed out of a penalty, I thought. So I thought it was a bit harsh to steal at the last minute. However, I was watching Soccer Saturday for the whole of Saturday afternoon. And every time they cut, I think, who was doing it? Was it Phil Thompson doing it?
I don't know. I was watching the match.
I think it could have been Phil Thompson doing it. And every time I cut to him, he was kind of like, yeah, 0-0 here. Man City fans getting quite restless because Reading are actually getting into this game in the second half. But every time he cut back, it was the same story. Boy, it was just, they're going to score. And I said it a few weeks ago, like they do have that thing, that kind of, for a big want of a better expression, the X factor. That kind of champions thing where they find a way to win.
It was just the last day of the season all over again.
Yeah, except Gareth Barry, he was a much less glamorous player.
Then Aguero doesn't work with Barry.
It's like, never will you, I swear you'll never see anything like this again. Well, we just saw it again there. But Gareth Barry. So, yeah, it was kind of the expected finish of the match. But it was an important win for the City because, you know, had they fallen 7 or 9 points behind, it is a long way back, even though there's quite a long way to go.
Well, yeah, Arsenal kind of dismantled Reading by stretching them wide, high up the pitch, and long with Walcott. But Man City didn't do that. They just went with their normal, narrow, awful selves. I thought Scott Sinclair, it's a perfect game to start him. He's likely to do something.
Poor old Scott Sinclair.
And he came on.
Poor Scott Sinclair.
Came on in the 75th minute. He did contribute a bit anyway. At least like the goal came from a cross.
Yeah,
they should have been doing that the whole game.
Well, they obviously have big belief in the way that they're playing because they obviously thought our system will beat their system, and I suppose it did. But
the system didn't beat the system.
Well, they got the goal.
Better players beat the worst players.
So obviously that's why they didn't change the wingers, but it worked out in the end. But you're right. If you look at previous weeks, Arsenal showed how to beat Reading, and that was in Reading as well. Mm-hmm. You'd expect to have a big advantage in your home stadium. And plus, on the plus as well, last week I was saying bet your house and bet your fantasy football and your Christmas presents.
Nearly didn't
work out. Now, I would have been happy if it didn't work out. Yeah. I'm happy to look like an idiot sometimes. But you have to say fair play to Reading for hanging on that long, but that's also the sign of a team that's going down. Like when things you hang on for so long and it doesn't work out.
Well, they changed their formation as well. They went one up top, and that seemed to be working for them to have gotten a draw with Man City, which it looked for so long like they were going to do. That would have been a big result for them.
I was surprised Pobreniak was starting as well. Because there's been a bit of something going on. I don't think he's happy there.
A lot of people aren't happy there at the moment.
Really?
Yeah. I think.
Is it results wise or behind the scenes wise?
Behind the scenes wise, they're not happy with the ownership not investing in the squad. Apparently,
yeah. I think it's been said a lot that it's very important for those teams to stay up this season because the TV money is getting huge as of next season.
Yeah.
And the parachute payments I think are getting bigger as of next season. Mm-hmm. So if you can just hang on for one season and then go down, you're doing very well. Your club will be set for the next 10 years.
And speaking of needing to hang on, QPR they lost to Newcastle 1-0. Again, there was just 4 attempts on target from QPR.
Yeah.
And Newcastle created 20 chances. They really deserved the win for once.
Yeah, and a great finish as well. That was a really good. I really like those kind of ones where it kind of curls and goes in the far side. You know, that kind of goes.
The keeper dives and he's just like, oh.
Yeah, why did I even bother? Yeah, but was surprised to see it come from Shaw Lamio because I wouldn't have put him down for. Is he a kind of finesse player?
He can be. He's an enigma.
I kind of put him down as a brute force and ignorance and smash it in.
He would usually smash, but he has skill. Like he can control the ball well. He just doesn't do it enough or ever.
Yeah. I'm sure he does it in training all the time.
Yeah. Well, the managers all love him, so he must work hard in training. But on the pitch, he's just frustrated.
I think managers, when they go to clubs in general, like players that embody the club, and I'd imagine
the local lads.
Yeah. As long as they're not messers. And I'd imagine he was one of those kind of, Newcastle United through and through kind of guys. Mm-hmm. But that was an important win for Newcastle because they're kind of going through a rough enough patch where there's been quite a few losses in the last couple of games.
They've a tricky patch coming up. They've all the big players coming around Christmas.
Old Trafford, I think, on Stephen's Day.
Mm-hmm.
But you screwed us out of 2 points there last season.
Yeah.
So maybe you'll be able to do the same again. But I think Redknapp was quite critical of QPR's high earning players after the match.
Yeah, well,
did you hear about this?
No.
Did you see this? Did you hear about this?
No.
Yeah, I think
he
was kind of saying basically they're earning way too much money and they're not doing anything. So, but like it's obviously a bone of contention in QPR dressing room. That's players like.
Sorry.
The players like Derry, I'd say Mackie and players like that who we're in the championship with them, don't earn a lot, always put in their shift.
Ships and bones. Go ahead.
And they're kind of looking at these new big money players coming in and not really improving the team any, so it's obviously causing fractions there. So,
well, it happened at Zenit when they signed Hulk and Axel Witsel. I just like saying Colin. So his name is Axel.
But the reality is,
the captain went on strike, or he got sent to reserves for going on strike or something like that for
but
complaining about wages.
If Hulk was white, he wouldn't have. There wouldn't have been a problem. That was what the problem was. Because they are racist.
Yeah, it's the captain. It's like he was calling for more respect for the players that had, got them to where they were, gotten them into the Champions League.
Yeah.
But you don't get any of that from the likes of Mackie or Sean Derry. They just kind of go, okay, I'll take my... They're still earning more than they should. I don't know. So Hampton versus Sunderland. Fair play to Sunderland, I suppose, with a 1-0 win.
No, look at you, begrudgers.
Well, no.
It's Christmas time, John.
I mean, Southampton played better than them.
Oh, here we go.
Sunderland just got a goal through Fletcher, which I suppose they just have to keep doing for the rest of the season there.
Yeah, because he's actually single-handedly half injured keeping them going, you know what I mean? So it'll be interesting to see what they do in 2 ways. 1, transfer-wise. 2, O'Neill-wise. Do they back him properly?
Mm-hmm.
Do they really have confidence in him?
Well, they never backed Roy Keane, and that's why he left.
Oh, well, they did back him. He brought in like 60 players.
Yeah, but then when he wanted to take it to the next level,
well, that was
not get involved in a relegation scrap, they went no.
Well, I think that was also Niall Quinn was the kind of keeping things nice and rosy between Keane and the Drummondville consortium.
Mhm.
And then this guy Short took over, and Keane didn't like the cut of his jib.
Exactly.
And so Quinn didn't have the say anymore, and Keane went.
Is your man still there?
Short.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there we go. I think O'Neill's going to run into the same problems.
Yeah. Well, it'll be interesting to see, because I'd imagine O'Neill is on very big money. I would have a guess.
I would imagine, yeah.
Yeah. So do you really want to sack him? Why would you do something half-assed?
I don't think he's in danger to sack anytime soon.
Well, if they fall into the relegation spots,
Could happen.
after all the work that say Quinn did to get them,
Mm.
you know, when Keane was in charge, they were fighting relegation
In the championship.
Well, what I mean is, when Keane got them up to the Premier League,
Okay.
they were fighting relegation for, I think, 2 seasons. Then when Bruce had them, he had them up kind of top of the bottom of the top half, kind of spots.
Mid-table.
Yeah, mid-table. And so, do you back him? I think you have to back him, because if you're not going forward, you're going backwards. There's no staying still. That's my attitude.
Go upward, not downward, and forever twirling.
Twirling towards freedom.
Tottenham versus Stoke. Stoke only had 4 attempts. None of them were on target. But
And Pulis would have been delighted with that.
yeah, probably. Hey, we got a point. Bale probably should have had a penalty, but is this a case of the boy who cried wolf? Like,
No, I don't buy into this. Gareth Bale's a cheat. Leave him alone.
oh no, I don't either. Like, he should have. It was a legitimate penalty. It's the same as the Walcott thing.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It's the exact same thing. Is that he was kind of off balance,
And he got an arm under his shoulder and knocked him over. He's at full.
Plus, you could pretty clearly see, right, from a refereeing point of view, Gareth Bale's about to take a shot. I'm sure in his head he's not thinking, I would like a penalty. He's thinking, I want to shoot the ball. He doesn't trip because there is contact. Everyone can see that. So your man has obviously illegally put him off, and the contact that he makes with the ball isn't great in the end. He kind of scuffed it.
Yeah.
So you can kind of see what's happened there.
And he's tried to stay on his feet and turn around and gone to the ref. Hey.
Hey.
What happened? That's no battle.
But also, like...
But is it a case of he has 3 cards for diving this season? Are they going, no, Mr. Divey Pants?
But sometimes you have to say, right, that's either a penalty or it's a dive.
Yeah.
And if it's a dive, you have to book him.
But that wasn't one of those cases. It was just a challenge.
I know, but he didn't get the ball in his challenge.
No. So,
are you saying that is the referee saying that the challenge never took place?
I don't know.
It's not a non-contact. It's not a non-contact sport. These are all difficult ones, but I'd have given him a penalty for that.
Yeah, so would I. West Brom Norwich.
And God, that game needed a penalty.
Yeah, it needed a goal.
Yeah.
Goal would have turned that game around from being.
I think interesting stat that Defoe has never scored when Adebayor has been on the pitch this season.
Ooh, has he?
No.
What about Europa League or?
No, hasn't. That's what they said on Match of the Day.
Wow, it's another one. Well, they don't like each other.
Yeah.
Defoe has never gotten on with any strike partner ever, though.
Really?
He just doesn't.
Even
pass
Robbie
it.
Keane?
They didn't work. I remember Robbie Keane going, "Oh well, I don't pass to him, and he doesn't pass to me."
Really?
Yeah. It's just like, but we're both strikers. So it's our job to try and score goals.
Yeah.
But
Robbie Keane coming back. Would you like to see that?
hopefully, it's always nice to see him in the league.
Yeah.
I'm disappointed he went to the MLS instead of going to a crap team.
Yeah, his career kind of went downhill though from when he went back to Spurs.
Yeah, the Knight and Coppers. He had the last few months of that were all right, and then he kind of went off.
What
the
happened
next
in
year
Coppers?
after, they were told no Christmas party to
Oh,
Spurs
and he
team,
yeah.
and he brought the whole team over to Coppers. And then Harry decided he didn't like him anymore.
Yeah, as you would.
Yeah, but he seems to have gotten over that because now he wants to bring him in to
Keep you up. Well, don't hold grudges.
No, and they're going to need him when Tarat goes to the Africa Cup of Nations anyway. Where are we? West Brom Norwich. West Brom teaching Norwich not to believe the hype. I mean, a lesson that they learned themselves a few weeks ago.
Well, it's sad to see the longest or the second longest streak of game in Europe, unbeaten streak. I mean, ending at West Brom. But they got off to a good start in that game as well in Norwich. So, great free kick.
Yeah,
really, really that's what you want to see in games, cracking goals like that. But yeah, they'll be disappointed to lose. But they're Norwich, you have to expect a few defeats along the way.
Yeah, mid-table will be amazing for them. Even if they finish mid-table, they'll be going, well, we're mid-table.
Yeah, well, even going back to the point I made about the TV money and stuff like that. That's what they're thinking about. They're not thinking about Europe next season. They're thinking about making sure that money is in the coffers next season because they only came up last season. So, like, take it handy, Norwich. Calm yourself down.
Don't get ahead of yourself. West Ham, Everton. Cole was sent off for a reckless challenge, and then Gibson was sent off for a reckless challenge.
Neither were reckless challenges, I don't think. Well, I was having this debate with my dad, and I said to him, because as soon as he saw the red card on Match of the Day, he was just shaking his head, that's not a red card. And I said to him, well, if Leighton Baines' head had been a little bit lower, and Carlton Cole had caught him in the head, is it a red card? And he's, well, maybe it would be. Well, then, do you have to wait for a bad thing to happen before you give the red card,
well,
you know?
I have the rules. A tackle that endangers the safety of an opponent must be sanctioned as a serious foul play and is a red card offence.
Yeah. Well, so you believe it was a red card?
I would have still given a yellow, but I think the ref was perfectly justified giving it. If he wants to give a red, he's allowed.
But it's a bit stingy Christmas time.
Yeah.
Because, you know what I mean? Because Carlton Cole, there was no bad intent there. He was watching the ball.
No, he was watching the ball.
There was no kind of... There was no grimace in his face or angry kind of, you know...
The thing is, if Leighton Baines' head gets caved in and Everton have to pay his wages then for another 4 years...
Absolutely, yeah.
And he's a £20 million player, they could make 20 million off him.
Yeah.
So they lose all that money, and also the league loses a player, and one of its best players, the most creative player in the league, apparently, as Luke told us.
Yeah.
And so FIFA have to kind of go, look, you can't be doing that.
Yeah.
Because you'll hurt our players, so it's red cards, so they're kind of trying to ingrain, don't be kicking people.
Yeah.
Don't be putting your foot up in a place where you could hurt somebody.
Well, would the solution be send them off, don't give them a ban?
Yeah. No.
Not a 3-game ban, I mean.
One game ban.
Yeah.
Although I think that serious foul play, I don't know if it...
I didn't think it was that serious of a foul play. I thought it was one of those red cards where, hey,
watch yourself.
Yeah, don't be doing that.
Yeah.
But same with Gibson's, I didn't think there was any real.
And he only caught him on the shoulder.
Yeah.
There was nobody stupid. But again, he wasn't watching what he was doing. If you putting your foot up in a place where a head could be, without watching if there's a head there, red card is fair.
Yeah, you're walking a dangerous line. But that really cost West Ham the Carlton Cole because they were doing quite well up until that. I think Everton had just scored the equaliser, and that's when Cole got sent off. But in general, they were right in that match, and sending it off really cost them.
Fulham, Liverpool, and Skrtel looked surprised that he'd scored, but he always looks a bit surprised because he's no real eyebrows. Surprised or angry?
Yeah. No, I would say more angry.
Yeah.
Angrily surprised, as in he's come home and somebody has egged his house. You know what I mean? So
it's Liverpool.
Yeah.
He should be glad it hasn't been robbed.
Yeah, all his cup medals have been stolen. Well, that was a big win for them because they got a thrashing the week before. I kind of felt that Fulham would give them a game, so I was a bit disappointed in them. They didn't really do anything that much.
And a man who everybody said was downing out.
Oh yeah.
Left Martin. He left Martin not so jolly.
Oh.
It's Stuart Downing. He played well, didn't he? Bit of an anticlimax there.
Yeah.
Santi-climax. There we go. Anti-Santa.
He played well, but isn't he Jew?
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
He's a Jew.
No,
so he celebrates Hanukkah. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Hanukkah.
Happy holidays.
Hanukkah.
Dreidel.
I made you out of clay. Dreidel. I'm with you, I shall play. But his ball for Gerrard's goal was amazing, I thought.
Yeah. Well, I would kind of be saying about time.
Yeah.
You know, but is the Sturridge thing done?
It looks done.
Yeah. So that'll be a big boost to them, surely.
Hopefully.
Yeah. I wonder how the whole Suarez Sturridge thing will work.
I would say most games, it'll be Suarez up front with Sturridge out on the right, and then some games they'll swap.
Yeah, because will they still play 3 in the middle? Yeah. So
he'll just Sterling probably move to left wing.
You think Downing will be better off in a 4-4-2 system?
Yeah, he always seems to work that way.
Yeah.
I mean, he has caps for England. He played there. He's a good player.
Yeah, he just hasn't done it there.
Yeah, something's wrong. I mean, they were trying to play him as a left back, where he seems to prefer right wing.
But I think about Sturridge was his big beef at Chelsea that I'm getting opportunities on the wing and I'm not getting them.
Apparently he tried to put it in his contract that he he had to play centre forward for Liverpool, and they said, "Don't be silly."
Yeah.
How do you enforce that?
Yeah. So, like, what if we're going into, like, play Barcelona at the new camp?
I have to no, I have to play centre forward. Well,
Yeah.
no, we need you.
Sign for Bury then. Yeah.
I mean, it's the Walcott thing. The Walcott thing again of
What is it about Londoners?
play on the right. You'll be grand.
Yeah.
But although I prefer Walcott as a centre forward,
If
or at
it's
least think he deserves a chance there.
If it's about goals, Ronaldo played on the right United a lot of the time and scored a lot of goals.
Yeah, he prefers playing on the left wing now.
Cristiano Ronaldo.
Yep. Since he moved to since he got put on the left wing at Madrid, just took off from.
Yeah. Cutting inside and shooting and stuff like that.
Yeah. I'd rather have that. You're better off. Anyway, Sunday, Swansea versus Man United, and nobody can really go to Liberty expecting a win these days. So a draw isn't an awful result.
No, did
There's
you see?
1-1.
Did you see the photograph of our colleague Colin O'Hanlon in his sharp suit at the Liberty?
Yeah, I did. Looking
Fair play to him.
very dapper.
Yeah, working at the match, but good match. I thought not an awful lot of chances, but I thought it was quite an entertaining match.
Yeah,
We're quite fortunate now that we're not in 3 days of mourning for poor Robin van Persie, who Ferguson said is lucky to be alive.
I thought Van Persie could have been sent off for that.
For what?
His reaction.
I thought it was a fairly justifiable reaction.
I know. Yeah, Williams. He got a ball in the back of the head, and Williams had kicked it at him where he just kicked it.
No.
No, I don't think he was trying
He
to kick
did.
Williams.
Give
I
me a
don't think
break.
he was.
Well, and here's why I think he was. One, the whistle goes, right?
Yeah.
2, look at his face. He's looking at Van Persie. I'd say he's looking at the ball. We'll dispute that.
The ball was near Van
But
Persie.
why is he angry at the ball? You know?
Why
Why
when
is
he's
he
angry? I mean, when you're angry, you want to kick something, and the ball
he's-
is the best thing
No,
to
he's
kick.
not angry
It's not
at
like
the ball.
he kicked Van Persie
He
in the
was
head.
like, here, you're getting this, and it'll look like it was an accident.
No.
And then here, after the match, he was like, I tried to apologise to him. When did you try to?
You see him? No,
in the
when Van
point-
Persie get up and starts getting in his face,
No.
he's just standing back on. Look,
Yeah,
I'm sorry,
like,
I'm sorry,
I
I'm
don't
sorry,
know.
I didn't mean it.
In the 0.3 of a second it took Van Persie to get off the floor and into his face.
The
He was
second
not-
time? Because he slipped.
Yeah, he slipped.
Looked like he was
You'd be
going for
dazed.
his junk.
You'd be dazed if you got hit in the back of the head. But that was quite a nasty incident, I thought. But I didn't think he could. I don't know an awful lot about head and brain injuries, but I don't think you can die from a football in the back of the head. can
Not
you?
the back of it. Well, actually,
No, back of the
Chicharito,
head. Back of the head would be worse for you. He got concussed. Didn't he?
he gets concussions really easy. It's a very soft skull, apparently.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, he got one playing for Mexico, I think.
Yeah. He apparently is in danger of brain injuries, and he could die pretty easily.
Yeah.
And Petr Cech, who is a triplet, I think I've said this before.
No.
His head is softer than other people's heads because he's a triplet.
Oh.
And that's why he has to wear the thing. It's not because Hunt hit him.
Well, it surely is because he didn't wear it beforehand.
That's when they realised.
Oh.
But
Because I always looked at that and thought, he hasn't really stamped on him that hard, has he?
No. Well, I thought he kneed him in the face. Or maybe, I know he fouled him twice in the game.
Did he not hop over him?
Yeah.
Was Cech not coming out for a ball and he kind of hopped over him and caught him?
Yeah.
Maybe it was a knee. But I remember thinking that, like, it was sore. I'm
Yeah.
not saying...
He fractured his
He
eye
fractured
or
it.
something.
But I just thought, he hasn't really caught him that hard, has he? Doesn't look that hard.
Mm.
But anyway, back to the game. Me too, more goals than Van Persie.
Good player.
Yeah, good player. It's just Fergie signed him up.
We want more strikers to score all our goals.
But stuff like the Patrice Evra goal, there has to be a story behind that because there's no doubt in my mind, but in pre-season, Ferguson was like, right, we got beaten on goal difference. Anybody any ideas how we can score more goals? And Patrice Evra put up his hand and goes, I'd like to score a few goals. I've only scored 1 or 2 so far. And now he's got 3 so far this season, all headers from corners. And he's one of the smallest players in the pitch every time.
Loudrup came out after the game and said, "Oh well, we have shorter players, so it's gonna happen that we're gonna get
It's Patrice
every
Evra.
shorter than all your players." What are you talking about?
Would you blame De Gea for the Swansea goal?
He could have done better,
Better.
possibly.
But
Well,
it's not a
it
hell
was
or
hitting
anything.
him very hard.
Yeah.
It's not the worst thing he's
No.
done.
Plus, I think he should be alive to the second ball of defenders when balls come out like that.
A keeper should always try and deflect it. I'd rather see him deflect it behind than back into the thing. But
Yeah.
I would imagine he was trying to do that. It just didn't work out.
Yeah.
The final game of the week was Chelsea versus Aston Villa. And Rafa was supposed to be a conservative manager. And they're just thumping everybody.
Well, when Villa give the ball away as cheaply as they did, any team is going to do that. I don't like it. Pity that it didn't work out for the first time in history. 8 different goal scorers.
That would have been nice.
Yeah.
But as it stood, it's 7 different goal scorers. They're like 6 or 7 different types of goal as well. It wasn't like they found a weakness and exploited it.
Incredible head error from Torres to start it off.
Yeah.
So.
And the tomahawk free kick from Luis was amazing.
Yeah.
They were all pretty good goals.
Yeah. But I wasn't expecting that. You win 3-1 at Anfield, you get battered 8-0 at Stamford Bridge.
Stamford Bridge next week.
Yeah. Wasn't really expecting that. Benteke hadn't a kick.
Well, with Liverpool, you just kind of go, well, we can mark Suarez out of the game, but you try that with Chelsea. Oh, we'll mark
Hazard or
Mata.
Yeah.
And then Torres is free.
Yeah.
Although he wasn't really free, he was up against 3 defenders, and they all just kind of went, "Yeah, off you can pop." He's not scoring from there. Oh,
yeah,
it went in.
But I had a pretty poor fantasy week, and before the Chelsea game, I had Hazard and Matt at my team, and I was going to say, everything is lying on this game. Like I need a lot of points from this game, and I was on the way home yesterday in the car, and I checked my phone to see what the score was, and it was Chelsea 8, Villa 0. No idea what the scores were. And I was like, yes, it's bound to be like 30 points there. And I got 10. Mata assist and Hazard goal.
That's a book go well set up the first one.
Yeah.
Did Lampard set up 1 or 2?
I don't know if he set that up because
he is on set up a couple.
Yeah, he set up Oscar. He got dragged down for a penalty.
Anyway, and then he set up Ramirez for another.
Yeah. So I was pretty disappointed with that. They took off man after an hour as well.
Yeah, I think you can. It's about time he got arrested, the poor little fella.
Yeah, poor wee chap.
Yeah, how's the fantasy league going? How am I doing? I haven't looked at it in a while.
As far as I'm aware, I'm dominating the back page pass because all of you cowards are afraid to take me on. Cowards. But in another league, I'm getting smashed.
Wow, I'd hate to be in that league.
Yeah, I'm 5th and going this way. So that was down. I pointed to the floor.
The floor is down. Downwards.
Yeah.
Twirling
towards freedom.
We encourage fans to get involved in the league. You will finish at least 2nd.
If you're not a coward.
So we'll put the code up again on the Facebook page where you can like us. You like us on the Facebook page and subscribe on the YouTube channel. So do those 2 things.
Yes, please do.
And
it would make our Christmas.
And we will talk to you again in a few days. Possibly, no, not Boxing Day. Not the day after Boxing Day either. The day after.
It will be
that one.
Thursday or Friday?
Friday or Thursday. We'll talk to you at some stage later in the week.
Bye.
Apparently, Edwin van der Sar is a very good penalty saving guy. You got to be closer.
I have to be closer?
Yep.
Like this close or?
There, that's perfect.
This close?
Yep.
Okay. So it's touching my top lip.
Well, maybe not
I'll
that
make
close.
sure to give it a wipe.